Something we've forgotten already.
Something we've forgotten?
Phoenix the max.
Oh, right, okay. Nice. Hello, everyone.
Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show of Viewers Comments and Questions, live, Monday, 5 p.m. Dan here.
Mick here. Hello.
Is that good?
Yeah, not really.
Ah, very good.
One job, Dan.
One job. Oh, as in I had one job.
Oh, we're a bit too zoomed in as well. Sorry, it's been a bit of a delay today. I plan everything with a 5-minute window, and somebody usually shoves a 10-minute job in that 5-minute window. So that's what's happened there.
Great. Does that chord annoy you? So it's the chord between this and this. It goes to.
I like it.
I like it too. Oh heavens!
Heavens to Betsy.
I've only just turned up. Normally I spend the day here and hang out with Mick, but Mick's been busy doing jobs, so I've only just seen him. How are you, mate?
I'm all right.
Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah.
I don't remember my
I
weekend.
mean, it wasn't awful.
My weekend was a long time ago. I've had a very busy day.
Yeah. Well, you know what it's like. Hopefully everyone will be able to empathise with this. Welcome everyone to VCQ. We do this every Monday. If you're new, this level of poor organisation is nothing unusual.
Indeed.
Yeah, like you say, Monday morning comes around and it's like there never was a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all right. In a moment, Dan. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So, welcome to everyone around the globe who'll be joining today.
Indeed.
We shall say salutations and glad tidings to mute.
Ah, good idea.
Let's see. We'll say salutations and glad tidings to Darren O'Toole from Hadfield.
Excellent.
I.e. Royston Vasey. Yeah, I used to drive through Royston quite a bit.
Is there a place called Royston? Not Royston Vasey.
Royston. It was on my journey from the southwest to Cambridge where I lived.
Okay.
And you would go through a place called Royston. Yeah, and I used to think of Royston Vasey. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Oh, should have got some spectacle cleaning devices. Oh, Uni Pizza are advertising. That's nice.
Uni Pizza.
Yeah, you know that pizza oven that I've got?
Oh yeah, that's amazing, that thing you've got.
Yeah, nice. So thanks to Uni Pizza for advertising. Please watch the ads. It helps.
Indeed. Noah Hearn says, greetings from Harrisville, New York. And David Pekaraski says, greetings from Northern California.
Northern California.
Betsy Abreu, hello from Brooklyn, New York. New York is representing today.
I watched the CBGB's film.
Right, as opposed to CBBBs.
Yeah, yeah, the Wiggles. Let's see, who plays the guy who did it? I'll remember in a minute. Quite a famous actor. And it's good. I didn't know about CBGBs. Do you know what CBGB stands for?
I don't know. I just know Mr. Tumble and let's see, who else?
It stands
Pingu.
for... do you know what CBGB's is?
The punk
The
club.
club.
The club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so do you know what CBGB stands for?
No.
Country, Bluegrass and Blues.
No way.
That's what he wanted. And then he changed it to OMFUG, and OMFUG, which means and other music for something, and then a word I didn't understand on the end.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good film, actually.
Wow.
He was pretty shambolic.
Have you been there?
No.
No, I haven't been either.
Anyway, sorry, you mentioned New York.
Yeah.
There we are.
These little town blues.
Massive thanks to BV for moderatorlising today.
Indeed. Thank you, BB.
We are grateful for that, as always. Ian Freeman, hello, Ian. I'm not old, I'm vintage. Hello from Boise, Idaho.
Very good.
And Salut BB Ninja. Indeed, Salut BB Ninja. Todd Roy says hi.
Kevin, hello from Utah.
Henley. We've got Kevy Poos from Henley.
Tobias Falgren, hello from Uma, Sweden.
Justin Baylog's on from Colorado.
Hey, Justin. Krampus CT says, happy snow day from East Hampton, Connecticut.
Monkey Enema says hello from Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Yes.
Kevin, hello from Bexhill.
He says it's as cold as a polar bear's toenail. Benicia, California says Mosrite. Los Angeles reporting says Leyland Berg. Hello, Leyland. And let's see, Ontario, Canada, Big Shorty.
Greetings from Ottawa, Ontario, says Willie.
Ottawa. Hey.
And Brad Griffin, hello from Huffman, Texas. The older brother, hi from Gothenburg, Sweden.
Göteborg. Cup of Noodles. Love from Santa Barbara, California. Did you ever watch Alan Partridge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was courting my wife, it was 2001 in Sydney, and so I bought her. She was in Sydney, she's missing her Alan Partridge, so I bought her a big box set of Alan Partridge stuff so that she could watch it. I think that was the turning point.
Hello, Mr. Partridge. You want a cup of beans?
It's hotter than the sun.
Want a sausage in it?
Flip to over. Start the first time.
No sound, says David Tompkins. Hopefully there is now, David.
Ben Marquise. Hello from Maine. We went to Maine, didn't we? We drove out to Maine, or was it somewhere else when we were in New York?
Maybe.
Okay.
No,
Long Island we went to.
Yeah.
Is that Maine? No, I don't know.
No, it's Long Island.
Okay.
I think Maine's a state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here in the great state of Maine, as James Taylor once sang.
Okay.
I'll read from the tune, says John Cardill. How canny lad. Today is my birthday, says Joseph Comstock.
Oh, happy birthday, Joseph.
Happy birthday, Joseph. I would love to get a shout out from you guys.
Can't do it, mate.
Shout!
Out!
I currently cannot play guitar because I had surgery on my shoulder. But you guys keep me entertained. Oh, well, we hope that
If
gets
you've come
better.
here for entertainment, mate, you've come to the wrong place.
Yeah. Well, we hope that improves and you feel better soon.
Yeah. Man,
yeah.
I started doing some yoga for my shoulders. I don't know if it was a wise idea because it's just like unlocked Pandora's box as far as my shoulders are concerned.
You got to do it. You got to continue to do it.
Yeah.
And then everything will get better.
Oh, so that one full-on session I had, then I just let it all collapse back in on itself.
Yeah, no.
Right. Okay.
It's a daily thing, is yoga, or at least every few days.
Yeah.
Definitely makes you feel better though.
Does.
Nina DJ says, "Where's the dog? Dog, where's the dog?" Dog's in daycare. Dog's having a little operation tomorrow, so obviously I'm a bit worried about that.
Okay.
So I think it'll be okay.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
She'll be absolutely fine.
Greetings from Bournemouth, says Dino Guitar Guy Project. Hope you're doing okay. We are. And West Cork Island, says Rick Appleby.
Oh, lovely.
I went to West Cork once.
Did you?
Very nice.
What's different from East Cork?
Cork is bottom right, I think, is a city.
Is there a North Cork?
And I think West Cork is over there.
Okay.
Is a county, maybe. Something like that. A province or something like that. Anyway, I went there. Got drunk, obviously.
I have always loved the idea of Guinness.
Yeah.
Right? And whenever I see it, it's the most appetizing looking drink ever. Whenever I've tasted it, like I can't drink it.
You don't like it?
I find it's like drinking Vegemite. It's like get some Vegemite, put some water in it, mix it up. It's like, and someone said to me, it's because it doesn't travel well. You need to go to Ireland
to drink it.
So we went to like the Guinness brewery.
Yeah.
Because I would love to be able to sit down and enjoy Guinness. I went there direct from the teat, as it were. I sat down with the best poured pint of Guinness you've ever seen. No.
I think you've got some motivated comprehension going on there, Dan. Because you like IPA, right? Which is a strong tasting beer.
No. The IPA that I like isn't strong.
You don't like the American heavy IPAs?
No.
I'm not saying it's the same thing, by the way.
Yeah, no. I like the gentle IPAs.
Oh right. Oh, yeah. I love Guinness.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I could drink.
I love the idea of Guinness. That's me in an existential boozy crisis.
Yeah. I wish I can't drink beer anymore. It's really sad. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, next off. Try it with pear cider, says Lewis Wingrove. So I'm assuming that's some sort of version of in Australia we have a snake bite, which is cider and beer and a bit of cordial.
Snake bite.
Yeah. So Lewis Wigmore says try it with pear cider.
Drink of many a student. Yeah, it used to be called a black velvet, maybe that.
Okay.
Something like that.
Right.
Used to drink that. Snake bite is actually, what was that? That was lager and cider, maybe. Back in the days where you could drink without consequence, Dan.
Well, there's always consequence, but just not as much as now.
Well, the consequence wasn't as serious, I
there
guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
There we go. We've been going for 18 minutes. We've managed to say absolutely nothing.
And answer no questions
there
whatsoever.
We go. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well.
Had a message from BV earlier on to say that Scott Gaylor, who's been a long time fan of the show, I've met him a couple of times actually at NAMM, great guitar player, has released his signature phaser today, I believe that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
From whom?
I don't know. It just says SG in it, so I don't know who's made it. But it looks quite groovy. There we go. That's what it looks like. Let's see if we can get a picture of that. Look at that.
Nice.
Very good.
Check that out, people. Right, let's get into the chat then and see what's occurring.
What's occurring? Whose coat is that jacket?
That was bad.
I went outside. There was my bike. Gone.
Welcome to cultural appropriation. And right then. Here we go. And Jonathan Hesbol.
Hey,
hello,
Jonathan
Hesbol. No question from you. Not quite sure. Maybe BV will be in touch, but thank you. Plexico. Duncan, how are you? He says,
Duncan.
Greetings, D&M. Please can we have your January gear acquisition tally? What was bought and sold this month?
Okay. Boy, oh boy. I'm still fizzy about the acoustic, so I haven't done much else. But however, do have the Pete Cornish treble booster, which was acquired.
Yes. Was that
most
January?
recently? I think I got it in January, didn't we? Oh no, was that?
I think it was December.
Remember. It was December. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing. No thing is my January acquisition.
I have bought a pedal.
Right.
And it was delivered to my house. It's amazing, but I'm not allowed to say anything about it. So a friend of mine, a friend of ours, who recommended it to me, said, I'm going to tell you about this, but you're not allowed to tell anyone else about
because
it.
they'll all sell out.
Because they'll all sell out.
Oh, well, that's not very good sport, Daniel.
It's not, I know.
I wouldn't have agreed to such terms.
So I do have one.
Basically anti-democratic as far as I'm concerned. Naganud. Mick, I'm getting fairly enamoured with the 2-Rock Bloomfield drive, and I was wondering what your thoughts are on it. Thanks and have a great day. I've had the pleasure of spending some time with Joey Landreth's Bloomfield drive, and I really like it. What I don't quite understand is how different it is from the TS1, which is the the sort of Dumbly one, because it's ostensibly similar, except the Bloomfield drive has reverb, and no doubt there will be some other differences as well.
Oh, interesting.
I must ask what the differences are. They do 150 and they do a 40-20, I think, if I'm right in saying so. One has 6 cell 6s, loud. The other one has 6 V6s, a little more controllable power. But yeah, I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask about 2-rock amps, because I'll just say they're all brilliant, buy them. So yeah, I don't know what the difference is between that and the TS1. I must ask Mr. Lester, who owns the company, and no doubt he'd be able to fill us in on those details.
Indeed.
But yes is the answer, obviously. Good luck. Freddie Forbes. Hello, Freddie. Happy Modulation Monday, boys. To celebrate finishing my tax return,
Yes.
I think we can all relate to that. I bought a Harmonious Monk and a Humdinger to go wet dry into a Friedman Twin Sister and BE50 Deluxe.
Oh my goodness.
Where's best to put the Monk?
I would put the Monk right at the end of your wet path. Like even after delays and reverbs, stick it right at the end.
I concur.
Yeah.
And if you can't cope with that, put it as far downstream as you can cope with.
Yeah.
So not up this end, near the guitar, down that end near the amp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where in a ideal world, that's where I would have mine, except sometimes I run a stereo reverb, so it sort of has to come before that, because it just does.
Indeed.
To not make things too complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice one, Freddie. Thanks for buying a Harmonious Monk.
Yeah. Speaking of buying stuff. Sorry, I got to do this. Because I don't get in trouble. But I feel a change of headwear coming on.
Oh, I see what's happening.
You see what's happening?
Roll up. Get your lovely apples. New beanies in That Pedal Show store. Good for nefarious criminal activities or just keeping your head warm.
Indeed.
We've called it the Knobhead, which is a working title, but will probably end up being what it's called, because as you can see,
very nice.
I don't do hats, but lots of you out there will. So they're in That Pedal Show store now, the Knobhead beanie. Anyone would think we were messing about with this, Dan? Anyone would think we weren't serious about this caper that we get up to every day. Yeah, nice. And just generally, thanks to everyone who's been to That Pedal Show store and bought stuff.
Yeah.
It is what keeps us going, so
Indeed.
Thank you kindly.
Indeed. Massive thanks and shout out to everyone that came to our experience day last Friday. It was brilliant.
It was really great.
Absolutely brilliant.
It was really, really great. We had a good time. We had a really good time. So, yeah. Ian Freeman. Morning, says Ian. I'm a beginner learning jazz, R&B, and a little bit of Prince. I'm looking for a versatile clean amp to grow with. Vox AC15, a TB18. I don't know what a TB18 is. TB trainer. Anyway, or a Roland JC22. Any suggestions?
It's a tricky, the jazz clean thing. It's really tricky. The AC15 typically won't necessarily be awesome for the jazz stuff. It's tricky.
Yeah, you can play anything on anything, obviously. I agree with Dan in that the AC15's voice is a little brighter. I mean, obviously you can turn the treble down and you can turn the tone cut right up, but it's where it's happiest is with a little brightness. The nature of those EL84 power valves means that you get a bit crunchy on there. And what do we say about Vox amps? We say crunchy chime, because that's where they work the best. Now, that's not to say you can't play jazz on an AC15. Clearly you can. But we would say that something a little rounder in nature might be a better option. Now, this is pushing it a bit. dear old George Benson had or has a signature Hot Rod Deluxe.
Does he?
And I reckon you could pick one of those up used for good money.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's just my assumption is it's voiced a little differently than the standard Hot Rod Deluxe, and in terms of clean headroom, it's a really great thing to do. If you say you're a beginner, so one would imagine that you're playing predominantly at home and probably don't have the requirement to play loud out just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, the Hot Rod Deluxe is way overkill for home, because pretty much anything you get is going to be loud enough for home, assuming you live in a normal kind of home surrounded by generally normal humans, i.e. not in a palace surrounded by nobody.
Not in a palace.
Yeah.
Surely you jest.
So the aforementioned, what did you talk about here? JC22 could be a really good shout. JC40 is a good shout for not much more money.
Yeah. The JC40's got a lower noise floor than the JC22 as well. And they're also, those solid state amps, they're really good. They're really good at that clean stuff. Do you remember the old Roland Jazz, the Roland Cube?
Yeah.
They were amazing jazz guitar amps.
Yeah, just really good amps, full stop. I think they still
Yep.
make the Cube series. Also, given that you're in the US, check out the Quilter range of
Yeah.
amps.
Yeah.
I think you'll probably find something in the Quilter range that would really suit you, and certainly for that kind of style that you're talking about, and at the stage you are, I think that would be a really good shout, because they're also not crazy money. So, yeah, good luck. Welcome to the team.
Indeed.
Daniel Herbert. He says, what are your thoughts on Kovadira live stream concerts? I caught 3 amazing shows this weekend. Courtney Barnett, The Smile, and the Ann Arbor Folk Festival. All amazing.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to see live music even from afar.
I think what's really cool about it, it was a necessity for a lot of people. But I think what's happened is, because of that necessity, it's opened up some more possibilities.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when we first kicked into lockdown, Andy Timmons started doing these live streams. And I thought, I'm going to pop on and see him and it was amazing. I was all fizzy after I saw it, you remember. And it was so great, and it was so different than just watching a video, because it was so interactive.
Yeah.
And there's a very different vibe. That's why we come in here every Monday, because there's a very different vibe doing it live than just, at home watching another video. If you're watching this on repeat, hey. But
Please do not vote.
I think what's happened is people started doing this, going, this is great, and we're going to add this to the live shows that are happening now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's fantastic.
I think there's some stuff that live streams can do really well. So, sometimes you go to a gig and the sound isn't great, or you're not in an optimal position in the room. I don't know. You just don't want to be among millions of humans. So what you're getting in the live stream concert is an optimum mix of the audio, and hopefully if they've sorted the cameras out, you're getting a really good view of everything. So from that respect, a bit like watching sport on TV, it's
exactly that. And you notice how great the sport coverage is now, and I think we're going to head that way into live music.
Yeah.
And you look at what's happened with the big festivals that have always had big budgets to televise these things, right? The technology now exists to be able to do that on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
So that fans around the world, it doesn't have to go out in BBC Two. I don't even know if there is a BBC Two now. But I think it's only good.
Yes. Well, all I would say about that is that just like a live sporting event, you get the sounds, the sights, and the smells of it all happening there in front of you, and there is something about the frisson of actually being there in person, especially at a live gig, where you feel it.
Of course.
So that can't be replaced.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to moan about that. It's just you can have more of a good thing.
Yeah.
And go to more gigs, because I don't know about you, I can't go all the way around the world to see all the gigs I want to see.
Yeah.
So I'll happily watch a live stream if the sound is good.
Yeah, totally.
Moving
on. The Barrowlands gig that Biffy Clyro did. I mean, it's just extraordinary.
Yeah.
So it's
Awesome.
great.
Nice. I also think, Daniel, that one ought to think about paying for such a thing as well, because these artists who aren't earning money from touring or selling records, is a good way for them to earn a bit of cash and keep them being artists. I mean, I don't mean Madonna. I think she's all right. She's got quid in the bank. It's fine for her and of her ilk. But lots of sort of lower and mid-level bands who make their living touring and aren't able to do that, if they charge a cover charge, don't feel bad about it. Pay the cover charge and watch the gig because they're working, right?
Totally agree.
Yeah, so
Great stuff.
That's what I think about that. Fuzz off. Hey, fuzz off. Legends, last week's video was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any tips on recording wet, dry rigs? Thanks for the inspiration.
Yes. If you've got...
Oh, God, I'm going to have to turn the super chat off, mate.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going to have to turn the super chat off because we've got millions of super chats.
To do it, you just really need 2 mics into 2 separate channels recorded at the same time. You are going to get spill, but we do it every week and it's great.
Yeah, exactly that. Just separate mic on each speaker, and then that gives you all the mix options when you come to do your mixing. In addition to that, I would add a room stereo pair as well. Now, sometimes that can be just way too much if the mix is busy. If the mix isn't busy, it can give some fantastic width to the guitar tone or indeed anything else you're recording. But yeah, just mic on each amp. As Dan says, there's a little bit of spill, but it's negligible, or certainly nothing to worry about anyway. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I just want to... Gordon Rankin has said, yes, please play the artist. They need to make a living, and right now they're all struggling. Yeah, and lots of, I think it's starting to emerge. This licensing is starting to come back.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. But I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Gordon Rankin. He helped me out last week. I was searching for a component that I couldn't find anywhere on planet Earth. And I reached out to him and he says, and he sent one over to me.
Oh, nice.
So thank you, Gordon. You're
Good on you,
legend.
Gordon.
Cheers, buddy.
Just for everyone's information, if you've super chatted up to this point, we will answer you. But I've turned it off because we're overrun with super chats. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you to everyone who has super chatted. So let's get into it then. Oh my goodness, Dan. We could be here for a while.
Okay.
So let's go.
We're going to do the final, the quick buzzer round.
Oh God.
Oh.
We may have bitten off more than we can chew here.
Okay.
Afternoon Legends, says Ben Thompson. Ben Thompson says afternoon Legends.
Hello, Ben Thompson.
I'm getting frustrated with the dark nature of my full-tone plimsoll. Any suggestions for something a bit brighter? Keep up the great work.
Interesting. I didn't notice that. I guess it all depends on what amp you're going into. OCD, maybe if you find the plimsoll a bit dark and you're after that sort of aggressive, Marshall-esque mid-range type thing, OCDs are great. Also check out the Andy Timmons Drive or the AT.
Yeah.
From JHS. That's a really great Marshall-y type thing.
Yeah, I thought the plimsoll had a fair bit of
Yes, so did I.
treble when you crank the tone round. So it might just be how you've got that second gain stage set. It's got a soft clip and a hard clip in it, and the more you turn up the little knob, the more hard clip you get. So it might be that it's compressing too much. But I would say, Ben, consider where you want to be. So are you using your plimsoll more like a tube screamer, or are you using it more like an OCD, or are you using it more like... Because if you want something that's bright, transient, then look for a different type of overdrive, something like a Hudson Broadcast, or something that has a different design in its nature. Mythos Chupacabra,
Thorpe Warthog
is a really, really
great.
If you want more grit, and more of a distortion characteristic in your overdrive, look at some of those. If you want a thick and fat overdrive, then it not being bright is kind of part of that world. Now, you could head off down the Dumble rabbit hole, and we would thoroughly recommend the Cornerstone Gladio, which can get bright, but it also can be very dark. I tell you, actually, Wampler Paisley Drive. See what's great about, great about the Paisley Drive. I've just rediscovered this, right? So I'm going to show you two switches. One is a presence knob, which turns a sort of tube screamery type thing into something brighter. And one is a different mid shape, so you can have it mid cut, lot mid boosted, or not very much mid boosted.
Really cool. Very cool. Yeah, we filmed with that last week, and it was really great. Really great.
I'm a big fan of that, and of course it makes you sound instantly like Brad Paisley.
Indeed,
so
indeed.
Guaranteed.
Indeed.
All your money back.
Trio Life says, love the beanie, just ordered one. Thank you, mate. Well done, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Ben. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, mate.
James Blessed. Hello, James. Good evening from Glasgow. You pair of absolute trouser bottoms. You are a trouser bottom, Blackadder. I'm considering purchasing my first proper amp. I've got a PRS Custom 24 and a telly, and I like rock blues. So should I go for a Blues Junior or something else?
Blues Juniors are great. What else is there in that range then? That would do that job?
I would check out some of the PRS amps actually.
Oh yeah,
I've liked pretty much every PRS amp I've played. I've liked certainly the 2-channel ones, which have the clean channel and the dirty channel.
Yep,
they're always good separation. I can't remember if the Tremonti one is expensive or not expensive, but I remember that sounding really, really good.
What about a Sir Badger?
Yeah, a lot of money, but
yeah,
because I guess Tremonti amp. What is a Blues Junior now? Like 600 quid or something?
Right.
Actually, yeah, the MT15 is 500 quid.
Oh, really?
So just for the head.
Right.
So that's not insane. And a Fender Blues Junior is 565 quid from GAC, 629 quid for a lacquered tweed one. So yeah, it's sort of between 550 and 650.
Does the Blues Junior have a 12-inch speaker?
It does.
It does. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a really hard question because there's so many good amps out there. Yeah.
I didn't know that the PRS things were so reasonable.
Yeah, they're not, all of them aren't, but that one is. And I remember it sounding really good.
What's Victory?
Sorry, shouldn't say good.
Heads
I liked
in that
it.
range?
There aren't any. They start at about 1,000 quid.
Right. Okay.
I think, unless they still do the BD1, but I don't think that's versatile enough.
Right.
Yeah, check that out. Check out
Not Bad Cat.
Black Star. Yeah, the Black Star Artist 15.
There you go.
That's actually what I would use.
Right.
That's what I would go for.
Yep. Killer.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, mate.
James Santos. Hi, James.
Hey, James.
From the Philippines. He says, hi, Legends. I recently bought a 65 Fender Bassman head. Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
you did.
And it's glorious. Can you please recommend a good 112 speaker cab to pair with it? Also, is it safe to connect to an 8-ohm speaker? Many thanks from the Philippines. On the back, there'll be a selector switch for different impedance speaker outputs, and if there aren't, you can look online as to what it's shoving out. Normally there's a switch on the back there.
Yeah. The original Bassmans were 2 ohms.
Yeah.
But the heads, I think you could select the different taps on the output transformer.
Interesting.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I don't know what the answer to that is. The general rule of thumb is don't go below the impedance rating. So if it's, well, it's not true. But like Boogie make their amps so you can plug any speaker into any jack and it won't hurt it.
Yeah.
But Marshall make quite a big deal of saying, please optimize the speaker cab. So don't plug an 8 ohm speaker into a 16 ohm load.
Yeah. Theoretically, if it was the 2 ohm load, it would drive the 8 amps, no problem.
Yeah.
But, you know, you need to
Yeah.
be a good boy.
I think forums and experts in this field are probably better sources of information than Dan and I. As for a 112 cab, I think you want an American sounding speaker. So, you know, it's not a quiet amp. You could look at something like a JBL.
That's what I was going to say. JBL or an EV or something.
Yeah, if you're only going to go for one speaker.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine most bassmans of the period would be paired with a bigger cab than that, not just not one speaker.
Tell you what, though, some of the best guitar sounds I've ever heard have been a 1x12 EB, but like, you know, big, open 1x12. They sound flipping amazing.
I mean, assuming it's 50 watts, I don't know how many watts it is. They did some hundreds as well, I think. I don't know, but just make sure the speaker is powerful enough to take however loud you're going to be driving the amp. Obviously, even if it's a 100 watt amp and you've only got it on one, you don't need a 100 watt speaker. But some of those transients can be quite significant even on one, so probably best not to have a 10 watt speaker.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Good luck. What would I get with that? I would look at Eminence's range of speakers.
Oh, nice.
And I would look at Italian company Jensen's range of speakers and pick something that, you know, this sounds reasonable to your descriptor. Also, call up reverb.com. I don't know how that is in the Philippines, but Reverb or eBay, I guess shipping to the Philippines is probably the issue. There's loads of really cool ephemera and unusual things on there. If you just search for 1x12 cab, you'll be amazed what comes up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, good luck. 1x12 ported cab.
Yeah.
Who does those? Barefaced cabs. They're really cool.
Or if you can find one, the old Mesa Thiel cabs. There was one on Reverb this week. One on eBay this weekend that's just been relisted with an EV in it.
No way.
Yeah, he obviously relisted it because it didn't get anywhere near what he expected to get for it. But that's a hell of a cab.
$1 million.
You can find one of those. Wow. Anyway, Shawnee is Cubs fan 1.
Hey,
Shawnee
mate.
is Cubs fan 1. What's your favourite speaker and why? Cheers from Chicago.
Celestian Blue. I shouldn't say all my favourite guitar sounds because there are so many. I love the way they record and I love the way they chime and I love the way they drive when they're pushed. Love them.
Yeah, I'm going to say either a Mesa C90 just because it's what I played forever and it's just massive and doesn't flub out and isn't too spiky, or an EV.
Very good.
Which I played for a little while and keep thinking about going back to. I do love the 2-Rock 1265B speaker. I love it. With love. Joshua Cheyenne. Josh, hello.
Hello, Josh.
Josh sent us this record that he recorded and it was great.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, we have mentioned it before. Anyway, nice to hear from you, Joshua. He says, guys, I'm fascinated by amp and speaker volume. I'd love to see how your 2-Rock, high-watt, matchless AC30 and AC10 compare when flat out with a semi-accurate calibrated SPL dB meter one day. Thanks for the great show.
That could be fun.
That'd be a good show, that, I think.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's going to depend entirely on the speaker choice. So you'd have to standardise the speaker. So you get an EV maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, get a they're 200 watts, right? Those. Yeah. Just get.
Because obviously, as you well know, Joshua, having heard you play and listened to the tones on your records, some of this, a great deal of the sound of an amp is the speaker, and actually it being less efficient and caving in a bit early, so less volume, is much more desirable than hanging on to everything for too long and just sounding massive and sterile. So as a sort of scientific experiment, it's interesting. As a tonal guide, it's not very interesting.
Right.
Not least because no one's allowed to play loud anymore, unless you're Biffy Clyro or Idols.
Yep. You can. You can play loud.
Dan thinks you can still play loud.
Yes, you can still play loud.
Dan B. Hello, Dan B.
Hey, Dan B.
Happy Monday, chaps. First question for you. The JHS Pollinator cleans up beautifully with my Les Paul, but not with my T-type using Monty's Danish Pete pickups. Any thoughts on why this might be gratefully received? That doesn't make much sense other than it being a impedance thing.
Yeah, and it's all that stuff is about an impedance thing. We have like mixed blue fuzz cleans up beautifully with the Strat and doesn't clean up as well with a telly. It can be you can have things that clean up really beautifully with humbucking pickups that because of the lower output impedance of the single coils that doesn't clean up quite as well. The Joe Bonamassa fuzz before, no, we've still got the copper one with humbuckers sounds absolutely extraordinary, but with single coils it was like a bit tricky.
Yeah, so in the Danish Pete set, the bridge pickup is closer to a no-caster one, which is going to be fairly beefy, I would have thought.
Right.
Alnico 5 magnets and plain enamel wire. So maybe it's just too beefy. Maybe it's just all too beefy until you get it right down.
Interesting. So someone else has just said, does the humbucker have a treble bleed? Because that would affect it. So that's a really good.
That's a good shout. Also, it ought to clean up a little better off the neck pickup of the telly. See if it cleans up a little better off the neck pickup. Yeah. But yeah, maybe when you just drop the output of that humbucker, it does something weird change with the output impedance.
I mean, it's
on a humbucker compared to a single coil.
Well, no, but it's again, it's all part of that relationship, right? With the capacitance of the cable, the 500k pots as opposed to 250k pots. Depends on what's going on frequency wise as well. There's so much to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not our experience. Our experience is the single coil guitars tend to clean up a little better. So whether there's something specific about the pickups in your particular guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best of luck, mate.
Taylor Shatler. Happy Monday, gents. I'm seriously thinking about acquiring a Fender amp, 12 to 22 watts, preferably all tube with a 12-inch speaker. What are your suggestions? I play mostly blues and rock. Cheers from the LNS of Quebec.
Lovely.
Well, you get a Princeton with a 12-inch speaker. Need to be one of the special editions.
Yeah. Are they 12 watts?
They are.
Yep.
Something like that. 12, 15 watts, something like that. They do very special editions that have a 12-inch speaker. Great amp, Princeton. Now, a Pro Junior has a 10-inch speaker and is only 10 watts, so we're going to count that out. You've got the Blues Junior, which is 15 watts and a 12-inch speaker, EL84 output valves, whereas the Princeton is 6V6s.
Indeed.
So far, I'm going Princeton.
Yep. You have the Deluxe Reverb.
Yep, which is about 22 watts.
Yep.
Yeah. And we've done a show on the Princeton and the Deluxe, so you can really hear them cranked in all their glory, doing their thing. There's also, I don't know if they still make it, they used to make an amp called the Supersonic 22.
Raymond Donaldson has just said Supersonic 22.
Yeah.
It's a great shout.
More headroom than the not as vintage sounding as either of those previous amps.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's all the various deluxes and stuff in history that may be tweed inspired, maybe more black panel inspired. So there's a lot of choice there in the Fender lineage. I guess your big decision is, do you want overdrive, tweedy, gritty, all that stuff, or do you want clean headroom, nice black panel, scooped mids, Bakersfield type sounds? If it's the former, look at some of the tweed voiced ones, and maybe even the Supersonic 22 if you can find one, because I believe the first channel on that had an option of tweed or black panel voicing, I think. If you want headroom, vintage, reverb and tremolo, deluxe reverb, don't ask any more questions. Done. Done deal.
Wonderful.
However, the Princeton is in there if you can find one with a 12-inch speaker, because it has more life and is much more interesting at slightly lower volumes than the deluxe reverb is.
It's magic.
Yeah.
No, 6v6 is really great.
You can get it into a really special place at a lower volume level than you can with the deluxe reverb, neither of which are home amps by any stretch of the imagination. They're both loud enough to gig with on, even on decent sized stages. So.
Yeah. I did hear, I was at a gig and Ronnie Wood was playing through it. I think it was at Princeton, and he got it to a really nice place.
Yeah.
But ran out of. Yeah, he ended up competing with people on stage.
Not enough headroom for me.
Yeah,
for
nothing left
for my thing. But then Jim Campolongo,
there you go.
That's what he uses, and he's flipping awesome. And he even uses the 10-inch speaker one. So good luck.
Good luck.
Dan and I are going to say deluxe reverb.
Yep.
Ryan, hello Ryan. Long-time Strat player here. But I got my first T-type guitar, a Reverend Gristlemaster.
Oh, nice.
Along with a BC-183 Sunface by Analog Man and a Hydra. With the bridge pickup is monstrous. Best tone ever. Much love. Thanks for great shows.
Fantastic.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, very good. What's interesting about that is their active pickups in the Gristlemaster.
Those are the Fluence ones, are they?
Yeah. So using that into the fuzz and it's working. So that's great, mate. Well done.
Nice. Chris Parsons. Happy Monday, Legends. Mick, how much more output did you get with the T Armans in your Gretsch, and what are your thoughts on wiring? I'm thinking about wiring mine to one volume, one tone. Would that take away the Gretsch vibe? Chris, you're asking the wrong person. I just don't know anything about Gretsch guitars, is the truth of the matter. Now, how do I say this? The T Armans really improved the guitar.
They did.
In a big way.
Yep.
However, something's still not to my liking. It's almost, the bridge pickup is almost too powerful, and it doesn't have the twang that I want. It's got a lot of girth, but not enough twang. And I don't know if that's down to some wiring. When I changed the Epiphone pickups and I changed the wiring from bog standard Epiphone wiring to Gibson 50s type wiring, that made a colossal difference.
Don't mind me.
Dan's just pouring some tea. That made a colossal difference. And yeah, do you want some tea, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like some?
Yeah. So the 50s wiring certainly makes a difference in Gibson style guitars, but I just don't know enough about Gretsch to offer an opinion on that, really. I wish they were a bit more twangy, is the truth. Now, may well be able to get there through pole piece height, pickup height, some other some other adjustments if I had the patience to I've got a dustbin lid and a hammer if you want that.
Can I make it a bit more?
Yeah.
The thing where you're trying to be really quiet.
Yeah.
And because you're trying to be really quiet, you make more noise than
Yeah.
Welcome to where I live. We've got 1,100 people sat here watching us at the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you, people. We really
they definitely improved the guitar. They definitely improved the output much more. It's just sort of it was a bit apologetic before, and now it's like proper guitar, grown-up guitar, happy days. I just need to get a bit more twang out of it.
Gretsch is a world unto itself, and you have people who live in that world, and it's an amazing thing when you see Gretsch players who I've talked before about when I was doing a tour supporting Chris Isaacs, and his guitar player was playing a Gretsch. And flipping heck, man, that's when I first sort of saw a bit of the potential that the Gretsch guitar has.
Yeah.
And if that's the world that you live in, it's a rabbit hole because there's so much to it.
Yeah.
You know.
I would investigate that single volume thing because I don't know if the effect of 2 volumes like increases the loading on the pickup and therefore it's duller. I don't know if that is the case or not. It's fair to suppose that it might. So yeah, there's lots of very helpful Gretsch forums out there. The TV Jones world is a mine of information in itself,
Yeah.
and they're actually really helpful as well. Their customer support people are super helpful. They were very helpful when I bought the pickup. So good luck. Hugh Buchan, he says, pondering getting the Yamaha THR for practice. Curious on your thoughts of using it as a dry amp in my first attempt at wet dry, mostly playing at home, not playing super loud. My other amp is a Vox AV30. Many thanks.
What is it?
Vox AV30.
That's the okay.
It says hybrid guitar amplifier.
So I'm assuming then that's going to be digitized at some point. It's really tricky with digital amplifiers. The reality is you can go wet dry and it's fine. The problem that you are going to run into is if you have latency on one amplifier or a latency difference between the amplifiers, then the direct tone will never be in phase, and that can be tricky. What you can do is you can have one amplifier with no dry or wet, and then it doesn't matter if there's latency. The way that Mick and I do it is with there's no latency in our direct tone going to both amplifiers, so that you get the, both amplifiers are perfectly in phase, and then you can, add your wet effects on one.
It's really interesting. So it's obviously, it sounds like something to do with the new tube technology. I don't know. It says it's got 8 analog preamp circuits to reproduce the sound of 8 tube amps. It uses a 12AX7 in there somewhere.
Right.
That's used in the pre and the power amp section.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing somewhere here you've got a solid state power section. So it doesn't say anything about it being digital.
Okay.
There are some effects in it. But it says it's called AV30 Analog Valve Amplifier.
Okay. And if there's an analog signal from input to out to speaker, great. But the reality is those rules apply no matter what wet dry rig you're looking to put together.
Yeah.
As long as the direct tone, there's no latency in both amplifiers, then you can get them both in phase.
Yeah.
If you've got an AD converter on your direct tone in one amplifier, then you're never going to get it in phase. It's really tricky.
Yeah.
So, but apart from that, you can pretty much use anything. We've done wet dry rigs with Boss, the mini Katana minis.
Yeah.
And it's such a great way to have a big sound at home without taking anyone's head off. You still get this, because it's more than the sum of the parts, you still get the initial attack, the transits, but then you get this lovely, the wet sound on top of it, and you can do it with really small amps. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Yep.
Exactly that.
So I'm going to add that to our list.
What's that?
Mini wet dry rig.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because that'll be a really fun show.
Jim McGee. Hello, Jim. He says, greetings from Devizes. Just down the road from where I live. He says, no question, just didn't realise how close by I was. Thanks for all the content. Yeah, nice.
Excellent.
Hello to Devizes.
Indeed.
Been a few pubs down there over the years.
Yes.
Hello, Jim. Airfire. Ed. Hello, Ed.
Hey, Ed.
He says, leg ends. After seeing Friday's show, I'd love more context about chorus and phaser. like a continuation of the 10 Great Things or Great Ways series. So 10 great ways to use your chorus, 10 great ways to use your phaser. I'm sure we could do that.
Yes. We can do
And he
that.
says, also, any suggestions for my payday takeaway with my partner? No Indian, please.
We've got this lovely restaurant that we get takeaway from most Saturday nights called Kenzo. And they do amazing ribs. There's like a nouveau Asian cuisine. And they do this awesome grilled salmon and vegetables. Oh, it's so good.
Nice. So Dan's going nouveau Asian. They used to call that Asian fusion, didn't they?
Right, okay.
Yeah. So you get a bit of Thai and a bit of Chinese
Yeah.
and a bit of this and a bit of that, a bit of like Singapore stuff and lots of nice stuff. I'm going to say doner kebab. It's been a long time since I've had a full-on elephant's leg doner, and there are few things that are as satisfying as a proper doner.
Did you watch Motherland?
Yeah,
Liz goes, "Come on, kids, let's take a slice of the elephant's leg."
yeah. It's really funny. I not having children or being female, I didn't think I would enjoy Motherland, but it is properly hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, I'd say doner kebab. And if you can't face the elephant's leg, nothing wrong with a good shish, right? It's lean lamb, grilled,
Shish is awesome.
vegetables. It's good stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, I just think like an XL doner. I'm actually salivating just thinking about it. Full of salad, chili sauce. It's absolutely served best after about 9 pints of Stella, in my opinion. Those were the days. That was. If anyone knows Pulteney Weir in Bath, beautiful part of the world. I used to stand there and do that most Saturday nights. 2 Pulteney Weirs there were.
We had this amazing hole in the wall. So when I used to play at Shepherd's Bush, like every Sunday, and we'd get there, set up the gear, and then we'd have 2 hours before we'd go on. And there was these guys did the most amazing chicken sheesh around the corner. And I must have been going there for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. And then even after that amount of time, the guy said hello to him every time I walked in. He never had any idea, never remembered me after 8 years or the rest of the band. You know, it was fantastic. Hey, you.
Right, we had from hang on, no, that's not him. That's not him, I don't think. So we'll get to those in a sec. Sorry, BV, thank you for sending the things that we may or may not have missed. We'll get to them in order.
Indeed.
Right.
Oh, Mark Hopkins is in the chat. I did a thing on his channel.
Hey, Mark.
So, hello, Mark. Hope you're awesome. I think it's your turn next.
Nice. Strat.
Strat.
That's my answer.
Okay.
Oh God, here we go. We've got a flipping Belgian name here with incredible generosity. Thank you very much. Or it may be Dutch, or it may not be neither of those things. It's Gies van der Esmorit.
Very good.
Gies, I think it's Gies. Van der Esmorit, and apologies, Esmorite, if we've said that wrong. He says, no question, just thanking you for the inspiration you are and the knowledge you share. I really enjoy your shows and I learn a lot. Well, thank you,
Thank
Geese.
you, mate.
And
Thank you
thanks
so much
for that generosity. That's incredibly kind of you. David Rustad. Hi, David.
Hey, David.
Update. I got the Seagull from Jam. Haven't seagulled once. The other side is a cocked wire with a switchable frequency sweep.
Oh, very good.
Never messed with a cocked wire and furs. Now it's the only sound in my mind.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Well done.
Loads of Michael Schenker riffs, right?
Yeah.
Chris Groom. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Mick. Hi, Dan. Really good day today. New guitar day. Oh, God. 2 guitars. New guitar day times 2. Have you won the lottery? He says, custom shop David Gilmour Black Strat relic.
Oh, hello.
Get on. And an NOS.
Play the lick.
In 2008, these were $3,500. And in 2008, I was going through a 20-year marriage breakup and out of work. 14 years later, I have finally realised a dream.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. Well done.
Good on you, Chris, and we hope things are much better in your life now. That is a miserable old business, all of that, isn't it? But now you've got 2 Strats. 1 Relic and 1 NOS.
Very good.
That's very cool.
Yeah, red was NOS.
Yeah. NOS refers to... You got new jeans on, Dan?
New old stock, yes.
Yeah.
I went jeans shopping.
Nice.
I wore through all the rest of mine.
Yeah.
So I wear jeans quite hard.
Yeah.
So I went down to Levi's with some fun vouchers and said, make me look less ridiculous.
Nice.
And they did.
What you got
Slightly
there?
less ridiculous.
5'11"?
I think they are. Well, they're 5'12". I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, they might be 5'12"s. Let's have a look. Oh no, they're 5'02".
5'02".
Chunkier in the thigh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I used to sell jeans.
Did you? So did I. I completely forgot. Wow, that was a long time ago. Boy,
yeah.
oh boy.
Yeah. I used to
on.
love selling jeans. I used to really like selling jeans.
I can imagine you.
Yeah.
They must have wanted to make you manager supreme of the world jeans selling universe.
Kind of. I looked after the storeroom. That was my main job.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. That was in Gap of all places. Back when Gap wasn't Gap was still had the sort of the feel of a small, independent,
So as
cool retailer.
I went to get the
before
guitar,
they closed all their shops.
people go on down check your fly. So that's one of the things of new jeans is
Yeah.
the fly does tend to just open.
Does it?
It does.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I don't have that issue.
Some of us have this issue. Some of us don't.
Anyway, Eric.
Well spotted, everyone. Thank you very much.
Eric Zenhausen. Hello, Eric. He says, cheers, D&M. In a previous chat, I implied the harmonious monk wasn't being used with my 65 Princeton. Nothing can be further from the truth. What are your thoughts on stacking tremolos?
Yeah.
Yes.
It can be wonderful.
Yeah.
Stacking them in parallel is also really cool. But, in series, you get really fantastic results. Yeah, great.
Nice. Yeah. Try and, if you get a rhythmic relationship between the 2 trems, so set one twice as fast as the other, or one like a third as fast as the other, or something, what you will then get is a really interesting interplay between the 2. And if you try and set them both at the same speed, it'll all go wrong. Good luck, Eric. Tree of Life says, hello from Connecticut, USA.
Ah, lovely.
What were your first guitars, and do you still have them? Mine was an 82 USA Black Telecaster, borrowed from my dad, and I still have it.
Wow. No, my first guitar was a Striker by Kramer, single bridge pickup with a whammy bar. No. So before that, my 10th birthday, I got an SG copy.
Yeah.
That was my first guitar. First guitar I bought myself was the Kramer Striker.
My first guitar was a K SG copy with a bottleneck, and no, I don't have that. My first proper guitar was a yellow 72 reissue Japanese Strat, which is the body of which is hanging on the wall up there.
And to make it...
The neck is long gone.
Yes, but to make it lighter,
Yeah.
what did you do?
Drilled holes in it. Yeah, I keep saying I might resurrect that guitar. Actually, my dad and mum got it for me when I was 14, and it was that. I mean, you can just imagine, can't you? A real Fender Strat in the days before the internet, before mobile phones, before ubiquitous gear everywhere. Fender Strats were rare, or they were certainly considerably rarer than they are now, and that was like a big deal. And I played that guitar till my mid-20s. Yeah, it's very, very heavy. It doesn't have a lot of good tonality by itself, but I just do wonder if that was part and parcel of learning to play, and you just deal...
And sort of eking out all the tone that you can from... Yeah.
Yeah, and then I
Very
think
good.
that's why I gravitated towards Mesa amps, because they were really loud and had loads of all loads of stuff that the guitar maybe didn't have quite so much. But yeah, it's interesting, all of that. You know, you have a smaller palette of things from which you have to be more creative, and there's something in that.
Yeah, agree.
Anyway, yeah, it's hung up on the wall up there. Thanks, Dad and Mum. Adam Loris, what's on, croissant? He says.
Very good.
Recently received my Novo signature Volter with a cedar body and Douglas fir neck.
Wow.
Wowzer.
Such great guitars.
What's your new guitar ritual? Big glove.
Yeah, interesting. For me, it is, I have to play it religiously for an hour or so every day for like at least a couple of weeks, and don't judge anything too much during that first couple of weeks.
That's really good advice.
Yeah, because it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like when I first got this guitar, I thought it was an absolute pig, and now it's easily one of the best tellers I've ever played.
Yeah.
Because it needed to be played in, and guitars do need things change in the guitar as they get played in.
There is great wisdom in that. I've been fighting with the gold Strat vlog tomorrow, by the way. That will go out tomorrow, the Strat vlog. I'm really fighting with it, and there's some stuff I wanted to add at the end of tomorrow's vlog, which I haven't done. I think I'll put it maybe at the beginning of the second thing of it, but it's all too easy to get all up in your head about this stuff, and I am guilty of that. As someone who preaches not being in your head, you know, living in the moment, not worrying about psychological time, I have only spent psychological time with that guitar, and it's ruining it for me. So I'm going to get out of that and just play it for a bit. I don't have a ritual. Play G a lot.
Yeah.
It being my favourite chord, you know, with the added whatever that note is on the B string. Yeah. No ritual.
Okay.
Just I reiterate what Dan said, which is live with it and play it.
Yeah.
And do that more than think about it. And I've been completely guilty of ignoring my own advice, and all I've been doing is thinking about it, because you have buyer's remorse,
All that stuff.
and guilt because it's all this money and you're not bowled over with it. You expect to love it and you don't love it, etc., etc. And there is a school,
one day it sounds amazing, next day it doesn't sound great. You're like, what's going on?
There is a school of thought that says if you don't love it, get rid of it immediately. But then I give you Exhibit A.
There you go. Look at that. It's a really interesting bit by Tom Morello on, he went to have this guitar made for him, spent an absolute fortune on it, and he hated it. And then he grabbed a body and then picked a neck out of it, one of those bins from a guitar store in America, you know, $20 necks or whatever, shoved it on and said, right, this is going to be my guitar.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do whatever I've got to do, but this is it. And he's had that guitar now 30 years.
Yeah. There's a lot to be said for that, for committing to the instrument. And
really interesting.
Because we're all guilty, aren't we? We see all the nice shiny things and we're like, oh, what I need is one of those. Like, I'm looking at SGs at the moment. A, haven't got any money. B, just shut up.
B,
and I don't need any of the above. What I need to do is play the guitar, right? But this ridiculous acquisitive syndrome that we have. Anyway, Jeff McCurlane is in the chat. So hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Thanks for being here. Right. Eagle Way Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
He says, okay, so my wet side is a 2-rock custom classic reverb signature with a diamond vibrato, and on my on the dry side I've got a Fender Deluxe reverb. It makes for a mighty fine chorus. Yeah. Dan talked about that in the modulation show on Friday.
Yeah.
Love and peace to you two legends.
Thank you, mate.
Rob, congrats on acquiring the 2-rock. That's quite a big deal. Mike 2203 fan. Hello, Mike. Mike came to our first experience day.
Yes.
He says, guys, what grease is best on Strat nuts to keep the trem strings in tune? We'll keep it in tune. Are all my Boss pedals digital? C5, DD6, RC1, BF3, BD2, OC5 and FZ5. Is this bad? No, they're not. The C5 is a digital chorus. I believe.
I'm not sure. I have to check. I don't think it is. I think it's got some more knobs on there, but I still think it's a CE5. I still think it's analog.
Oh, chorus ensemble. No, it's not bad, Mike, at all. There's nothing bad about it whatsoever. What you might be struggling with is if all of the signal is converted from analog to digital and there's no dry analog path all the way through it, you get something called latency, which is just a very short delay. Now, if you're not splitting the signal anywhere, it's not really a big deal, so it doesn't matter. If you're splitting it wet-dry and one of your signal paths has a complete AD converter in it, it's going to get delayed a small bit, and that will put the two things out of phase. So it's only a problem if you're doing that. Otherwise, no big deal. People can, but you'd be hard pressed to notice a tiny bit of digital latency that a modern effects pedal will add. Now, add 4 of them up, maybe that's a bit more noticeable. Which is why we bang on all the time about good analog drive-through. I don't know the case on most of those pedals, but no, it's not bad, and I wouldn't get too hung up on it. Unless it's causing you that specific problem with a split signal. Now, as for Strat nuts, I always think pencil graphite is as good as anything else. You can get something called nut sauce, which is like a graphite-y thing in a grease, which you can put in there. The only thing with the greases and stuff is they are sticky, so you don't really... Oh, I don't want that. And if you
don't want this.
If you rub a pencil... end of a pencil over your nut, obviously it goes grey. Again, I don't mind, but some people do. Or you could clean it off afterwards, of course. But I think pencil graphite's as good as anything, personally. Dan?
The graphite I like. I think that works really well. The nut sauce. There's a few different things. The thing I like about the graphite is it's so simple.
It's a pencil.
Just a pencil. You can throw it in your, you know.
You do get a grey mark on your finger where you rub it. Yeah. And then if you do that, it's like, what am I doing now?
But then if you do that and you go,
I'm on
like that, you know.
Manoeuvres. Yeah, it's pretty reliable, Mike, and does work. Wes Chilton, hello Wes. Happy Monday, gents.
Hey, Wes.
Have you ever played any of the newer Magnatone amps? I was intrigued by the recent Anderson's video, especially the stereo one.
We've played old ones. I haven't played a new one.
No, I haven't, but everyone I know who's played one, who I trust, says they are really, really lovely.
Wow.
So
must try it.
It would be good to try one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what do we talk about? We talk about headroom. We talk about fidelity, bigness of tone. So if you like that big, full, rich kind of sound, i.e., not a Marshall or a Vox, then I think you'll really like it. I'm itching to hear one because I know I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
Which is all the good reason not to hear one, right?
Yeah.
It was my birthday yesterday, says Gologamoth.
Happy birthday, mate.
Happy birthday. And I ordered a heavy water from Thorpe.
So good.
Brilliant. We recorded a show last week that hasn't gone out yet about boosts, and we included the heavy water, just a bit of a deeper dive on it. It's a cracking thing.
Amazing.
Yeah. The Boss RV6 and a Cass Leader Toxic Twins. I'm looking forward to their arrival. Well, the RV6 is a reverb. Toxic Twins, what is that? Something to do with Aerosmith, maybe? Toxic Twins dual overdrive. Rock sound orientated dual overdrive machine. Low gain to full on distortion. Yeah, Joe Perry and Steven Tyler were called the Toxic Twins, weren't they?
Oh, were they? Okay.
By some people. Nice. Hope you enjoy those. Justin Baylog. Hello,
Hey,
Justin. He says, leg ends. Long time no chat. I love my Klon type circuit as a shaper. I'm thinking about using it in my effects loop. Any concerns or considerations?
You just need to make sure that it has. So I'm assuming you're talking about using it as a boost in the effects loop.
And a global shaper, yeah.
Yeah.
Always on job
Yeah.
or not.
You just try it. It depends on how hot the signal is from the effects loop. If you imagine that, the guitar goes into it, you turn up the distortion, and then you start to get clipping. If the distortion is all the way down, you should be okay. But if it's hitting it really hard, it's just going to distort earlier, which as an effects loop will hit it a lot harder than the guitar will. You just got to be careful of that, but it's not going to hurt to try.
Yeah. Try it and have a listen, because obviously it's powerful as a shaper when it goes into the front of the amp, because the vast majority of the gain makeup and shaping is done in the front of the amp. So by putting it in your loop, you're bypassing all of that in the front of the amp, and therefore it actually may not be as powerful a shaper in the loop as it is up front of everything. But try it. There's no reason to, it won't break anything, and it's worth a try. Interesting enough, Experience Day on Friday, I can't remember who it was. Wasn't Dave? Might have been Andy. Andy. Hello, Andy, if you're watching.
Andy.
And hello, Dave, if you're watching. And hello, everyone else, if you're watching. Andy, who you fixed his pedal board for him.
Right.
He's using the loop, and he wanted to hear your matchless.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, can I plug into the loop of the matchless? And I'm like, eek. Maybe. Let's try it. It was fine.
What was he using in the loop?
A delay.
Okay.
Because there is such an evilly aggressive loop.
Unbelievably.
Wasn't overdriving, didn't sound bad. He said the delay was a bit louder than it normally is. I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, I think we can explain that.
Right.
But it was fine.
Okay.
It was absolutely fine.
How hot was you running the preamp though?
We had it belting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hard to know at that point. Hard to know what's overdriving.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it was cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, have a go with it, Justin, and I'd be interested to know what your conclusions are there.
Yeah.
I went through a period of trying to get my one of my Kingsley second stage valve overdrives to work in the loop of the 2-rock, but it just goes like massive to not as massive.
Right.
Whereas if I put it in the front, it's massive.
Yeah.
So overdrive pedals aren't optimized to work in effects loops. Everything he just said, but it might work, given that it's a boosty type thing.
Yep.
Ran's there. Hello, Ran. Heels. Shalom from Israel. Shalom.
Indeed.
What a show you gifted us on Friday. Fabulous. What do you think of using a Maiden Page DS, Maiden and a Page DS, into the effects loop of a Mustang modeler as the second amp of a wet dry rig with a Victory V40? I think that could work.
Yeah, it depends on if you're going to the Mustang, and if any digital amp, right?
Front end is definitely digital.
Yeah, but
so
if you're going directly to the power, that could be great.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
Interesting.
Actually. I've always liked the Mustangs. I think they sound pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, so it just depends whether you've bypassed. Now, if you've got digital reverb and delay after the loop, I don't know if it is organised that way, and it has no analog dry through, then you will have that phase issue with the V40. But try it; you'll hear it straight away. You should hear it straight away. Yeah, nice.
Excellent.
Dan Rush. Dan, we have a super chat, but we have no questions, so I'll just check from BV. 9. So Dan, sorry if we've missed you. Hopefully that will be resolved soon. LC Vol 73. LC Vol 73. Hello, gents. Just swapped out the stock speaker in my 65 Princeton reissue with a Celestian Gold 10. It was so worth it.
Absolutely.
Did you guys keep the Princeton you had on the show? If so, do you like it? Have you done any mods?
We have kept it. We love it. We haven't changed anything yet. I need to find or get the right gold for it, because at the moment, the only golds that we have work with it are in a 2x10.
And they're 16s.
And they're 16, so we need to get an 8 ohm gold.
Yeah.
But it's magic amp. Really wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's really good fun to play that. Yes. What's wrong with being sexy? Says Alba's Band.
Such a fine line.
And he always asks great questions, Aaron. Thank you. If you had to rank and play the rigs of Hendrix, Page, Townsend, what would you choose? Love the show on Friday and love you. And we love you, mate.
Thank you, bud. I'd have to go. I have to go Hendrix.
Page for me.
All right, okay. Only because of the wobble. I'd have some wobble to work with.
I've done something close to Jimmy's rig many times.
Right.
Decent first, decent Univibe, decent Octavia, cranked 100-watt Marshall. I've never done cranked Marshall, another Marshall for the theremin,
Right.
Echoplex.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Never done that. So
okay.
I think I'd go Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Pete Townsend would be great, but wasn't that just essentially a guitar into an amp cranked?
High watt.
Yeah.
It's giving it, yeah. It's different now, though. But, yeah, Jimmy and those Marshalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The full Woodstock rig with... Yeah, nice, Aaron. Nice question. Thank you. Jolly Willard. Hello, Jolly.
Hey, Jolly.
Hey, guys. Thanks for the modulation show on Friday. I just got the Cali 76 Deluxe from Origin. Yeah, from Origin Effects. Do you have any tips, considering that I'm coming from a Boss CS3, like how to lift quiet sounds like harmonics? Have you got plans for a compressor in a band episode?
That's a really good idea because I think a lot of people struggle with that. What happens is you're at home practicing and it's like, oh, that's nice. Put the compressor on. It's like, oh, turn the compressor down. It's too loud. Then you get to the gig, you go, turn the compressor on. You got nothing left. It's a compressor basically is limiting your dynamics. So when you're setting up your compressor, you've got to set it up around the parts of the songs that you're going to be playing. And generally, those parts are going to be lifted. So you need to make sure, even though it can sound sometimes that the compressor, when you turn it on, when you're playing quietly, goes, whoom, and might feel too loud.
That is rather the nature of it.
It really is, because it's exactly that, because it's lifting everything up.
Yeah.
Someone said in the chat before, why is my compressor noisy when I turn it on? Because it's taking everything and it's like including the noise floor.
It's trying to make everything this level.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're playing louder than that level, it's turning it down. If it's seeing the noise floor, it's trying to make the noise floor that level.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but kind of.
That, which is why good compressors are really worth their,
For me, Jolly, it's all about the dry blend. So
yeah, right.
I'm personally not a fan of any compressor that doesn't have a dry blend. The exceptions might be overt country picking, which I never do.
Right.
And overt funk playing, which I pretty much never do.
I imagine you'd be a really good funk guitar player.
I've done my fair share of it down the years, but I've never used a compressor for exactly the reason you're describing, because that volume into a valve amp with a decent guitar playing the right part, you don't really need the compressor in a live environment. Now, recording is an entirely different thing. I flipping love compressors recording, and the trouble with a great compressor sound is you don't really notice it.
Yeah, right.
It's not overt, and it's not an overt effect, and you'll probably find that the more you get into the Cali 76, you'll be playing it, and you'll be like, is it on? And then you'll turn it off and you'll be like, yes, it's on. So dial in a bit more of that dry sound, get the compression working more, and then you're sort of into the realm of parallel compression there, sort of, kind of. And so for me, just personally, I don't want that squash on the front of the note. What I want is the harmonics and the sustain after the fact. And you do that by dialing in plenty of dry sound so you've got the front of your note, but then as you sustain and let off, the compressor takes over.
Yep.
And gives you the sustain out the back, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
So we're business up the front, party out the back. aren't we?
We are indeed.
Yeah.
Is there a mullet compressor?
There ought to be. Please, somebody do that now. Josh from JHS has got to be your call, I would have thought. The
I'd
mullet.
love to. I'd love to see Josh with the mullet.
Yeah. So turn it up, Jolly, and don't worry too much if it sounds too loud, because that's our job, right?
Oh man, I've forgotten how good this guitar is. I haven't played it for a while.
Oh, some nice... Oh, I thought it was checking. It's some sort of detritus dribble or something. What is it?
It's just a schmod.
What is it?
Well, there's a bit of checking there.
Oh, that is checking.
Yeah. Look,
But something's got into it.
probably. Bit of grossness.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't cleaned the guitar in years.
Dan, show the people what I'm talking about. Back a bit. There you go.
You see the checking there?
Can you see it? See the dark lines?
There you go. Look at that.
Nice.
So, what's interesting is this guitar. There was no checking on this guitar when I bought it. So that's real proper checking.
Real proper,
And it's forever.
genuine wear. Not your nasty modern relic wear. I can't wait for the vlog tomorrow or going out on the relic Strat. the hate for relics is so high, isn't it, among some people? That is tremendously cool though. Because you've done thousands of gigs on it.
I have.
I don't have thousands of gigs left in my life, so it's never going to happen to me. But
Yeah, man, I've forgotten how great this guitar is. It's alive.
it's alive.
It's alive!
Yeah, so turn it up, Jolly. Get some more clean blend in there and turn the in and out up. And I think you'll start to love it. It is a very different thing from the CS3, as you have found out. But I in my own personal small opinion, much more grown up sounding.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Oh, Jeff McCurlane.
Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. He's just saying, nice. Thanks for joining us, Jeff. He says, I'm not seeing the super chat option anywhere. Just for anyone that's wondering, we have to turn the super chat off at some point because we've got too many. So we're going to be here a long time as it is. But thanks for joining us.
Victor Gustafsson. Hello, Victor. He says, toes. I'm waiting for a Les Paul Classic P90 to arrive, and I'm not sure about if I'll get along with it ergonomically.
Interesting.
I tried 2 Firebirds last week that were way more comfortable. I'm 192 centimetres, and I played like never before. What to do? Okay, for those of you anyone who doesn't do centimetres, 192 is pretty tall. I am 183, and that is 6 feet and 1 inches or thereabouts. And so you got another 10 centimetres on top of that, which is another 4 inches. Is that right?
Yes.
Something like that.
1.8.
So
yeah,
we're saying that Victor is somewhere between 6'4" and 6'5", which is interestingly the same height as. Oh no, he's even taller, isn't he? Josh, JHS.
Oh, okay.
And Ed is 6'7", is he?
He's very tall.
A giant of a man. Anyway, yeah, Les Paul is a. I mean, there are some people of significant circumference who have played Les Pauls.
Indeed.
Shall we say?
Yep.
Yeah. I think get a Firebird. Send it back, get a Firebird, I think is the only way forward. Because if you've played like you never played before, happy days.
Yeah.
And of course, lots of people can't carry a Firebird off.
Yeah.
You can, Victor. This is your moment.
It's really tricky, isn't it? Because we don't want to be enablers.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. But if you found a guitar, it's rare. It's rare that a guitar comes along and you grab and you go, this is it.
I like this.
Especially the more experienced, the more guitars you play, and all guitars are great. They're all fantastic. But every now and then a guitar will come along and you go, this is it.
This is it.
And
this is my new direction.
Yeah, and it's I tell them once. Tap first, then puppet show.
He wrote this.
If you find that guitar, and you playing like you've never played before, man,
Yeah. I think send a Les Paul back, get the Firebird.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, subject to a quick schwang on the Les Paul, obviously.
Yeah, good luck, mate.
Yeah. It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, indeed.
David Kaplan. Hello, David. Right. Would you pair a Princeton reverb reissue or a deluxe reverb reissue with an AC15C1 or something else? I love my Vox. Cheers from Oakland, California.
The deluxe.
Me too.
Yep.
Princeton's too similar
Yep.
in its mid-range. I mean, it's not the same. Just, I'm not saying that they're the same. It's more similar than the deluxe and the Vox.
Also, the Vox as a dry amp is heaven. The way it breaks up when you dig in, wonderful. The deluxe reverb has got all this glorious headroom and clarity. So using that as the wet amp, we've done it before, and they're a beautiful, beautiful pairing. Yeah.
Do it. Sorry, I'm just getting confused by Chimera's question.
Okay.
Chimera, who says, or it might be Chimera, but I think it's Chimera. What's the best option for a rack preamp switcher? I have preamps and 4 channels of power amp ins and outs.
All right.
Left, centre, and right in a wet, dry, wet configuration.
All right.
Is the G3 extension kit the path forward? Or?
I mean, it can be. You need if you've got 4 outputs, you need a couple of humdingers there, but that will give you 4 outputs and 10 loops. That will work great.
So there's no speakers involved here, are there? We're just talking about the relationship between preamp and power amp. So that's fine. You haven't got to worry about impedance or anything like that. So we're not into Ampete land.
No.
Ampete is a amp switcher which deals with cab switching. So we don't have to worry about that.
No, we're just talking about preamps into power amps.
Yeah, so G3 could definitely do that.
Definitely.
And given that G3 has stereo capability per loop.
It does on the Atom.
Yeah.
The normal G3, you've got 12 loops.
And you've got 6 that are stereo.
Well, you've got 12 loops, or you can have them paired up for
Yeah.
6 stereo loops.
Okay.
So if you've got wet, dry, dry, wet, you've got 4 outputs there. You just use the last 2 loops, stick humdingers in them, and then you can have all 4 outputs on.
Yeah.
But then per preset, you can assign different things to,
Wow.
So
yeah, that could do it. I don't know what the other options are in that world. That sounds complex.
So you're getting into complexity there.
Could
But
you
if
just have like a normal MIDI switcher?
It depends on.
It would have to have MIDI.
You've got to have MIDI, but then you've got to have the ability to. If you've got stereo signals, you've got to have the ability to route the stereo signals separately to the mono signals in the center. So, yeah. I mean, if you want to know more about that stuff and about whether you can do the rig, just send an email to support of the gig rig, and we'll give you a
I'll
hand.
explain it. Subro Pontes says, I'm thinking about titanium saddles on my Esquire. How would you compare them with steel? I hear people complaining about a metallic top end.
With titanium, these are titanium on red.
That guitar has one of the most metallic top ends of any guitars I've ever heard in my whole life.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, I had them on blue for years and years and years. Titanium saddles. I would say metallic top end is partially true. I think what's more true is an evenness across the strings.
Yep.
Which you don't get with steel, which is not to say it's better. It's very even, and the harmonics were all pretty rich and full, and I really liked them actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you've been hearing them on Red ever since. I mean, they've been on for the whole history of the show, so you've never felt inspired to change them, Daniel?
No, in fact, I'm looking for the same set to put on the 65.
The old one.
Yeah, maybe. Because I mean, just picking this up now and feeling the clarity and that.
Why don't we just get you an EMG with like an ESP guitar or something like that with EMG, so you can have full frequency in every
orifice. Yeah,
try them. I mean, they are expensive, but it's not like it's an expense that is, you know, would be annoying if you didn't like them.
Put it this way, but
it's worth a try.
So the original, so this is a 63 model that came with the same threaded saddle pieces as my 65 has got, which I'll show you. So there's the steel. See the threaded screws? Look at that detail. And so Red had those originally, and I've still got them in the case, but I was breaking a string every song on them. And I must have gone through, seriously, I have a drawer, like a little wooden drawer, full of bridge saddles.
Huh.
I must have bought 30 different sets to try them out. And I got these ones, and they were just instantly
Boom.
the best sounding ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're by a company called KTS Titanium, which are the ones that
correct. Yeah.
We're on Blue as well, so check those out. And good luck. Sweet J, hello Sweet J. I'm looking for a chimey EL34 EL84 head between 15 and 20 watts, ideally less than $1,500. Any suggestions that I should look at, used or new? Doesn't matter.
Victory Copper.
Yeah, Victory Copper's good, although you can use it in half power, but it's 35 watts, I think. 30 watts. Sure Badger, which was also, I think there's an 18 watt version, is a very, very lovely amp. Any of the Dr. Z?
Yes, Morgan.
Yeah.
The Morgan that we had, that was 20 watts, wasn't it? That was awesome.
It was. Joe does quite a few EL84 amps. I would really check out Dr. Z's range of stuff. Now, I don't know how much a Maz 18 would be used, but that is a flipping great amp. Really, really great amp.
Yep.
And I think at that sort of price, given that you're in Canada. I thought you were in the US. You're in Canada. I don't know what Canadian dollars mean. So I don't know if 1,500 is a lot or not very much. Is it 1-to-1 parity with the US Canadian dollar?
No, I think the American dollar is a little bit more.
If it does get you into Dr. Z territory, in my personal opinion, that is a step up from your average production line Fender, Vox, Black Star world.
Yep.
And it's worth it, personally speaking.
Yep. A couple of suggestions here: Dirty Shirley Mini and Carmen Gear.
Yep. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, Canadian dollar looks like it's worth a little less than the American dollar, but I don't know how that relates to import. I would look at those personally. Matchless is going to be too much money. Lightning 15 is just a great. If you want chime, I mean, it's utterly superb. So yeah, do check out the Victory Copper. The VC35, the copper. I think that could be a good shout. It's gainier than anything else we've mentioned so far. It's got quite a bit of gain in it. Which you may or may not like. But yeah, chimey EL84s works great.
Cool.
Robot songs. Robot songs.
Arigato, mister.
He says, thank you for mixed Strat video journeys. Another one coming tomorrow.
They're so good. And the one tomorrow is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Really wonderful.
It's all right.
It's wonderful.
There's some aspects of it that I'm just not going to do again. Anyway, I've always been a Les Paul guy, and I couldn't jibe with Strats. After the vid from last year, I tried again, fell in love with, and now own a Silver Sky.
Wow.
Not a Strat, but it feels great. Yeah, I think, I don't know how many I've been through now, 4 maybe. And I really, really, really liked one of them.
The Silver Sky.
Yeah. I very so nearly put my name down for an SE, but that's just me going, oh, I should have one of those. And it's like, yeah, I won't play it. Not because it's not a great guitar, but because I'm going to play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad it works for you, and very cool indeed. Congrats. What colour is really the only question I have on top of that. Josh M says, howdy from gloomy Seattle, gents. I picked up a used OD3 this weekend by Boss, and I love it. Seems like an underappreciated drive. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, OD3s are great.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We do have one here, don't we?
So it's basically an OD1, but with an extra control on it, is it? Because they don't make the OD1 anymore.
No.
What's the difference between it and this then? Different mid voicing, I guess.
Yeah, I think the OD3s are thicker.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I because they were all yellow and they all sounded like the same name. In my formative playing days, I had whatever Boss Overdrive was available.
Right.
Yellow Boss Overdrive. The one I liked the least had a switch on it.
Oh,
It might have been
okay.
the Turbo Overdrive.
That's turbo distortion.
No, it was yellow. It was definitely an overdrive.
Okay.
The
The feedbacker?
No.
That's the one I had. It was wicked. I played it at church once when I was a kid.
There you go.
I got in trouble.
OD2, Turbo Overdrive.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, nice.
With the switch
Very
on it.
good.
That was my least favourite.
Right.
But I definitely had OD3s and SD1s and liked them both. So enjoy. Brian Garcia. Hello, Brian. Great show on Friday, he says. Perfect
Thank you,
timing
Brian.
as I just received the new Past Effects elastic mattress. That's excellent. It's a great version 2 clone with all the beautiful Electric Mistress top end and an added blend control. Runs on 18 volts. I feel Dan would love it.
Oh, interesting.
Well wishes.
Very interesting. Thank
Says
you, mate.
Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll have to
nice.
have a look.
It is that high end, isn't it? In the Mistress.
It's all there.
Because it ain't filtered away.
No.
Matthew Turner. Thanks, Matthew. No question from you. Maybe we'll get back to it. Non-aligned videos. Non-aligned videos. As I've said before, I'll say again, we know all about those. If you had to do a gig with only one pedal and your choice was either a phaser or a flanger only, which would you choose?
Flanger every day of the week.
Phaser. There you go.
There you go.
Dan's favourite pedal of all time is a flanger, pretty much. So easy peasy.
Yep.
I don't particularly like either, so I'm going to say phaser. Because at least then I can pretend to be David Gilmour.
Right. Let's see. It's to have a cigar. So that yeah.
Nina Head DJ. Mick, please do the rest in a Geordie accent. Also, more Tweed Deluxe on the show, please.
It'd be a big stretch doing the. Well, obviously, you wouldn't do it. We'd have to get someone to call in.
Yeah. I mean, I always miss the calls.
You do.
Incidentally, we did the garden bird watch yesterday. RSPB, I think it is, does a garden bird watch.
Right.
And you sit in your wherever you sit and you watch the birds and record them for an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know why I thought about that. Why did I think about that? It was to do with calling in. Maybe I was thinking of bird calls. Don't know. Nothing untoward, Dan. Just
No.
the usual collection of nice tits in the garden. A blackbird. Collared dove.
Did you get any kites?
No kites. They don't come in the garden.
Okay.
They've got to land.
Oh, they got to land.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can't just see them.
2 great spotted woodpeckers.
No way.
Yeah. which is pretty cool. No green woodpecker, but 2 greater spotted woodpeckers. No finches.
Any wrens? Any albatross?
No, we do get a wren, but we didn't have that. Dunnocks. 2 dunnocks.
Wow.
3 robins landed at the same time, which is interesting because they're fiercely territorial.
Okay. 3 robins. A trifecta of robins.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a tri-robinous experience. Anyway,
I'd be lucky to get a... Who would land in our garden? I'd be lucky to get a seagull. Just crap on us on the way through. I drove... I think I've told you the story. I drove to Newquay once. It was a 4-hour drive. And I got there to the venue. And I opened the door. As soon as I stepped out the door, the biggest bird shit I've ever seen landed on my shoulder, and part of it splashed up into my mouth.
Nice.
As I was getting out of the car.
That's great. I mean, in what way is that good luck?
And it goes inside the car then as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's just
nice.
Amazing.
It's a great one. Nuthatch, 2 nuthatches as well. That's one of our favourite birds. Digger 68. It's a nice way to spend an hour.
And a digger?
No. Just watching the birds.
Well,
with a cup of
okay.
coffee. It's really lovely.
Yeah.
Howdy Leggins. We do have a bird table, by the way, so we are cheating a bit.
You're attracting the birds.
Yeah.
With the bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I mean, it's not against the rules.
Fair enough.
It doesn't say like no bird tables.
Right. Okay.
Howdy Leggins, says Digger 68. Friday's video got me thinking. Is it possible for me to run a dry, wet rig with my phaser before my drives going to the wet amp and then just my drives to the dry amp? No.
So you want to run a phaser with the drive. So what you'd have to do is duplicate the drive. You'd have to get the, split it, go drive phaser, and then same drive into the other amp. Because you can't have this, you can't put the phaser into the drive and then split it and then take the phaser out of the drive. You'd have to have, duplicate drive stage if you want to do that, one with the phaser, one without.
Yep. Jason Wade. Hello, Jason. He says, hey guys, I love the show and the content, but this is for the superstar moderator, BV Ninja.
Ah, very nice.
Salut. Enjoy your day, fellows. Indeed. Thanks so much,
yeah,
BV.
thank you, BV. Legend.
It's quite the commitment to do this every week, and we are eternally grateful.
Yes, indeed, mate. Thanks so much.
Ripley. I think Eric Clapton was from Ripley.
Okay.
And was Ripley Alien? Was she called Ripley?
Yeah, Lieutenant Ripley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorillas in the Mist.
Gorillas. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Ripley, have you ever tried a Jim Kelly amp?
Oh, yeah.
Of all the amps I've tried, 2 Rocks Matchlesses, etc., the sound of a Jim Kelly haunts me to this day.
So our dear friend Paul Stacey uses his Jim Kelly amp all the time, and I've heard him play with it a bunch of times, and it really is very, very special.
What is it?
So Jim Kelly was making amps in the 70s around the same time as his amps were getting a lot of love at the same time as the the Dumble type things, and loads of those 70 players were using them. Let's see, Bonnie Raitt was a big Kelly user. There was loads of big Kelly users in the 70s, and they just had a really fantastic open sound to them. Loads of character, great pedal platform amplifier. It's really dynamic. And I think John Suhr was remaking them for a while.
Yeah, I just Googled it and that came up.
But I think Jim's now gone back to doing them himself, I believe. But they're wonderful.
Yeah, interesting. Would be nice to know more about that.
Yeah.
Apologies for the ignorance on my part, anyway. Idea Gent. Ideagent says, how about a pickup special?
It's a bit broad.
Yeah, we have talked about it, and then unfortunately what happens is we then fall into a rabbit hole of, well, it all matters. So I think we'd have to put some brackets around it somewhere and say we can't do all pickups. We can do... Actually, even then, it's so hard, because unless you put the same pickup in the same guitar, different pickups in the same guitar, and compare them back to back, it's really hard.
Yeah.
The other side of that coin is there are generalizations that are generally true.
Mm.
And maybe there are some misconceptions about some certain pickups. That would be more interesting.
Right.
Because we all assume a humbucker sounds like this, and we all assume a single coil sounds like this, and actually it's not the case.
Yeah, right.
Or in many cases it cannot be the case. So that might be, 10 surprising sounds from pickups you didn't expect to sound the way they do in a surprising way.
You'll be surprised by the outcome.
Yeah. You'll never believe this. You'll never believe number 7.
Nobody would have believed.
Yeah, maybe. Big Shorty. We were talking about loud drummers, weren't we? He says, thanks TPS and all the chat and for all the advice last week. I tried her, his daughter, the drummer, on electronic drums for now to control the volume, and let the lads try some big boy amps and a wet dry setup. The smiles were contagious.
Very good.
They've been playing all weekend. Excellent.
Lovely.
Nice. Nice. Debrute drop. Debrute drop. Deborah drop. Debrute drop.
Debrute. Debrute.
Greetings from Edmonton, Canada.
Debrute.
I've been looking for a versatile modulation pedal for my board. I tried the MD200, but I didn't care for it. Maybe analog would be better. What do you reckon?
It all depends. Yes, analog's going to be better. Sorry. Yep. It just is. Modulation is really hard to get right. And one of the things that we've found is if you really love modulation, if it's a big part of what you do, it's really hard to go past analog to do it. However, if what you need is maybe a bit of chorus in one song, a bit of phaser in one song, flanger, if you only use it really sparingly, then there are some really good digital things you can get in one box and skip through it, and then it'll do that job. However, if it's a big part of what you want to do, it's, for me, the analog thing is really important. An important part of that sound.
Yeah. I'm just trying. There was a pedal that Electro Harmonics did for ages, which had quite a lot of options in it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the Good Vibes is a chorus vibrato, so a vibe type thing. The Jam pedals. Ripley Fall is great. Chorus and phaser in one, and you can combine them. Is a pretty good shout. I'm sure there are some half decent analog multi modulators. They might not have all the modulations in, but they've got like chorus, I don't know, phaser and something else.
Okay.
Something else. You won't get rotary speaker because you can pretty much only do that digitally for a proper simulation thereof. The other thing you could consider is checking out some of the more cost-effective analog single sound pedals. So like Moa, Dan uses the Elect Lady.
It's great.
Which is a good flanger. There's plenty of good simple analog choruses out there. But I would go with the Jam pedals, Ripley Fall, phaser, and chorus in one.
Yeah, the modulation sound is beautiful.
Fantastic sounding thing. And then you can add a harmonious monk after that.
Yep.
Good luck. James Fearon. Greetings from Liverpool.
Greetings.
Today's a good day for 3 reasons. My first super chat, number 1.
Oh.
2,
good.
payday.
Nice.
Hence the super chat number 3. New guitar day. I finally got a telly and I'm holding you responsible.
Oh, wonderful. Congrats, mate. That's brilliant.
Nice one, James. Hope you enjoy it. Tell you what we played. Andrea, who came to Experience Day on Friday, brought in a Squire Classic Vibe 72 thin line.
Blank egg.
What a great guitar. And she'd had it, funnily enough, she said, what do you think of this? We played it. And I was like, wow, have you had this set up? And she said, yeah, she'd had the nut redone and just the general setup. And it was a flipping great guitar.
Really was.
Really great. She's going to replace the pickups in it.
They arrived today, actually.
Yeah.
She sent me an email because she wanted to know what soldering iron to use.
Oh, cool.
But she sent a picture of the pickups arrived today.
She got the creamery ones, was it?
Yes.
The ones that you got?
Yes.
Yeah. But as a chassis of a thing, cool, what a great guitar.
Yeah.
If you're watching, Andrea, hello. We'd love to know how you get on with those pickups. Colin Diamond. Nothing from you, Colin. I'll just check my... no, sorry if we've missed you, Colin, but thank you for your chat. Maybe we'll get to you in a sec. Rich Jones. I'm recording from the Strymon Iridium. Is there any internal compression? The waveforms seem to be contained. I also notice the JHS Rat sounds way different and loses a lot. Does the Iridium work fine with pedals? Welcome to the rabbit hole of digital conversion.
Yeah. It's really tricky. Those sorts of devices are designed to mimic the compression that happens when with the amplifier when it's working. And generally, when you get those things to a sweet spot where they sound nice, everything's going to be compressed. So very different than running. If you're looking at the output from that, and you're looking at the output directly from your, modulation pedals or whatever, yeah, it's going to be really limited. The one big thing that is really tricky to do is how a valve amp interfaces with fuzzers and treble boosters and things that are really dynamic in nature. Copying that is a really difficult thing to do. With boosts and standard drive pedals and stuff, it's easier. But there's a dynamic electric relationship that happens between the valve amp and the output, the inductance of the cores, and the impedance of the fuzzers and things. And it's this wonderful, magical thing that happens, and it's difficult to replicate that in that form. But loads of people use them and they sound great, and we've had them sounding really good on the show. But that is part of the dilemma.
It is. Which is also to say that no matter what you plug your pedals into, it's going to sound different. So if you have two different, tube amps, they're going to sound different and react differently, and one may compress more than the other. So if it's something that, if it's just a case of it, if the effect of the compression is annoying you, then set it differently to see if you can get rid of it.
Yeah.
And if you can't, try something else instead of the Iridium, like, I don't know, an analog pre or something like that, just to see if it's happening as well, and you'll be able to sort of narrow it down quite quickly. I'm of the uneducated opinion that quite often in those devices that are doing a lot of processing, you got a 9-volt power supply, the headroom in it isn't massive, and that all contributes to it sounding smaller. Whereas if you get a nice tube amp with a decent microphone into a really decent tube preamp, into a really high-end audio interface, the fidelity and everything you hear is way higher. Now, I know that that's not available to everybody, but the more analog recording gear I hear, the more I understand why lots of people want to keep it analog as far down the chain as is humanly possible. And I'm starting to get a bit twitchy about all of that as it goes down.
Sure. I did some reamping over the weekend.
How'd you get on?
It's fascinating.
Did
So,
you like it?
well, the problem was I reamped one guitar track. I'd worked really hard on the mix, trying to get, I reamped one guitar track. It sounded so good it made all the other guitars sound like crap.
Right.
So I had to go through and redo the 5 other tracks.
Because how did you recorded the other ones then?
So I demoed this track, right?
Yeah.
And it was done late at night. I plugged directly into the my Apollo Twin interface, and I just used some of the
Amp models.
amp models on
Yeah.
there.
So this wasn't your speaker coffin.
No,
Yeah.
this wasn't. And then I thought, okay, but I managed to snag a couple of performances that I was really happy with, and that I knew it was going to be. It's going to be hard to replicate that again. I thought let's take that and reamp it and see what happens.
Mm.
So I worked out how to send that. Took all the stuff off and just had the clean guitar.
Yeah. Just
Sent-
a DI.
Just
guitar.
a DI.
Yeah.
Sent that into a 2 notes captor.
Yeah.
The rack thing. That went into the Lazy J. That went into my box, my Grossman ISO box. And then I matched the level so that levels are right. And I just turned it up and just had this really sweet, chewy thing. And then recorded it, lined it all up. And I was like...
Because you had to reline it up because you had some latency.
Just a tiny bit.
A couple of samples or something.
Yeah. Just lined it all back up. Got my daughter. Said, Liv, have a listen to this. First one. She said, oh, it sounds really good, Dad. Then the second one, which was the reamped one, she was like, whoa. It was a really cool thing.
Did you make a vlog about it?
I did.
Awesome.
I did.
Awesome.
So I got a bit more to do on it, but it is really, really interesting. There are some of the other guitar tracks I'm just going to go back and record normally. But for that, specifically for that one solo section, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and just the Lazy J sort of cranked. Sounds great. Really great.
Nice.
And having the spring reverb turned up in the amp as well, and hearing how that sits in the mix was fascinating.
Yeah.
Really great.
Rather than a plug-in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Rich, I guess there's a number of things you can do about that. If it does sound compressed to you, then, you know, obviously run a bit less gain and a bit more output level. A/B a few things and just see if you can improve it to a point where you're happy with it. Also, just check out whatever you're plugging it into, that you're not getting compression at that point, because it might be that you're hitting your interface too hard and that's what's compressing. Again, power supply, headroom, all of that
Gain staging, it's all part
makes
of it.
a difference.
Yep.
So yeah, good luck.
Good luck, mate.
Dan Rush. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
He says, I'm happy to support such a great show.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
That's very kind of you, Dan. Thanks very much. Similarly, Scott Gaylor. Hello, Scott, again. He says, thanks, guys.
Ah, mate, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Scott. Charles HD. Hello. My dream guitar is a true 61-62 spec'd Fender Custom Shop Strat.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a Custom Shop 57 shell pink one with low wind Imperial humbucker, I'm guessing, and 2 grey bobbin single coils on a 3-ply 8-hole guard. Okay, yeah, wow. Total mutt, but insanely enjoyable. Should I simply get 2? Nice. Yeah, I don't know where to even begin with the 3-ply 8-hole guard. That's given me... I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night screaming about that.
This is 3-ply, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you have? 2-ply.
Yeah, but... Here we go. Where do I start, Dan? So, in 1959...
Right.
They went from... Strats had maple...
Yes.
All of this part
Yes.
here, the handle.
On the handle, yes.
They had all maple necks, and then they made the transition in 59 to rosewood boards. And along with rosewood boards, it didn't all happen at once. The pickguard went from single ply,
Yes. White.
8 holes,
Yep.
to eventually 3-ply 11 holes.
Okay.
I think it's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Very good.
Some had 10. There were some 10 ones as well.
Wow.
And then in 64, they moved that closer to there.
Which is why they'll crack. Is that right? The 64 ones? Or is it this one here that cracks?
That one cracks.
Right.
And that one cracks.
Oh, okay.
So it may well be a transition era appointment. And then after 65, into the 70s, you know, total nightmare, blindfold required, not right at all.
Right.
So it could be a thing. So yeah, a 3-play 8-hole is an unusual accoutrement.
Oh, okay.
Could be period correct on something, but having said that, I mean, this is completely the wrong colour, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, nice. But that's the thing, isn't it? If it's a great guitar and you love it, the happiest of days.
Yes, indeed.
The happiest of days.
Yep.
Because, you know, I'm trying to get all the spec right on that and I'm still struggling with it. So
Right. Interesting.
doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. Good on you. And yes, get 2. Because you'll never get that 61, 62 out your head. I'm interested to know what 61 and what 62 you like.
Right.
I like the later 61 necks. Clearly they weren't all the same, but having played lots of them, I have noticed something about later 61 necks compared to earlier 61 necks that I like. Anyway, good on you.
Indeed.
More Strats. Happy life. Jamal Hill Richardson Albini. I wonder. Thank you, BV Ninja. Okay, so Jamal, let's see if we've got something from you in here. I think we may have. Yeah. Jamal says, you two leg ends inspired me to play 4 years ago, and currently I have all gain and modulations covered. Current rig, 1960 Les Paul custom shop with a V140 Super Duchess.
Oh, my word.
I'm looking to go wet dry. What would you suggest? Okay, so what would you pair with a 140 Super Duchess for wet dry and a Les Paul?
Well,
virtually anything.
you could literally put anything in that. I reckon what will be magic with that is an 18-watt Marshall.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Les Paul.
or a 20-watt Marshall, the
Yeah,
2061.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Just as the dry amplifier, I reckon that would be absolutely killer.
yeah. Or any. I was thinking Marshall myself,
Right.
actually. Basically, any kind of Marshall.
Yeah. That would be epic.
Any kind of traditional Marshall.
Yep.
But equally, a Vox would work. So if you like the idea of chimier, Voxy drives, a Vox could work great.
That's why I was thinking the 18 or 20 watt, the EL84.
Marshall,
the
yeah.
EL84 Marshall, because they do have a bit of that chime in them,
Yeah.
but they're definitely Marshall amplifiers. And I think with the Les Paul, that would just be superb.
And there is something about, you know, it's famous and revered for a reason. A Marshall into a Les Paul into a Marshall. It's the sound of ages. And if it's a traditional type Marshall, there is no getting around it.
Dennis Cornell makes a 20 watt Marshall, and it is astonishing.
There we go.
Yeah.
Where are you? Jamal, you're in the US by the looks of things.
Oh, okay.
So Cornell might be hard to come by. But in the US, you've got all that rich lineage of other stuff. Like
Indeed.
Friedman's much more affordable there.
Yeah.
You could get a really nice Friedman take on a Marshall.
Yep.
Again, Dr. Z. Would
Yeah.
totally recommend Dr.
Dirty
Z.
Shirley, actually.
Yeah.
Would be really cool.
Get on.
Yep. There you go.
Get on. And good luck. Matthew Turner. Hello, friends. How might I attain the lo-fi setting on my Walrus ARP 87 from an analog delay?
Oh,
What does it
okay.
do on the ARP 87 and the
Let's have a
lo-fi?
Let's have a look. Where's it gone?
Do 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 do. Let's see.
Must be
Lo-fi
in the room. Must have been using
algorithm.
it.
Okay, lo-fi algorithm. Range on the repeats goes from warm, warped, and murky to straight AM radio. So, you need an analog delay that can alter the tone of the repeats significantly.
Yeah.
So, I think if I'm right, maybe the MXR Carbon Copy Deluxe does that. Might not do. Usually, no, in some cases where you've got a tone control, you might get brighter and darker, like on the JHS 3 series, for example. Don't think there's any in the ARDX20. There's no control for tone on repeats, is there?
No.
Images. So you need, if you're going to use an analog delay, it needs to have a tone control on the repeats, which gives you low and high cut.
Yeah.
That's quite important. It can't just be darker to brighter. You need to have low and high cut, so you can cut the low and high to get to the tonality of the repeats that you want. The Free the Tone Flight Time, which is not an analog delay, does it as well as any analog delay I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Is utterly superb. Carbon Copy Deluxe, does it do it? Let's have a look. No, you've got a bright switch, so it's brighter or darker.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need something that's got a high analog cut on the repeats. If you watch Dan's Frankenstein video delay,
That's a funny show.
he does that, but that's not normal.
It's such a yeah, but it's such a massive thing for those repeats, being able to adjust the EQ of them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a pedal staring us in the face that does it.
Yeah.
You need a delay pedal which has got high and low cut on the repeats,
Or a delay pedal that's got a loop in it. And I think what you can do with the ADX20 is put something in the loop of it that affects the repeats only, and then put an EQ in there.
There's a couple of pedals that have that functionality.
It's a really great thing.
Where you're affecting only the affected sound. What is it? We played something recently that does that. It's got its own effects loop basically. So
I know the Timeline does it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking either for a delay that's got its own low and high cut EQ controls on the repeats and preferably some modulation, or you're looking for something that has an effects loop which enables you to affect the affected sound only, so you can either modulate or EQ or overdrive the delay sound only. And there are delay pedals out there that do that. No doubt everyone's mentioning them in the live chat at this moment. Good luck, Matthew.
Deluxe Memory Boy has an EQ pedal and the effects loop in it, so streamlined. Seymour Duncan apparently as well. Yeah,
so
good.
They're out there. Aaron Singh, hi Aaron.
Hello, Aaron.
Aaron, thank you for your amazing generosity.
Wow. Thank you, Aaron. That's so kind. Thank
Guys,
you, mate.
I hope you're both well. We are.
Very well. Brilliant.
I'm
What are we
just-
having for dinner tonight?
There's a chicken.
Oh, my
I don't know
God.
what to have with it though. I think Catherine might be roasting some vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have extra chicken.
Would you have a whole chicken between us, Dan?
Okay.
Because Catherine doesn't eat chicken.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys, I hope you're both well. We are, thank you. I'm considering consolidating my gear, as loading and unloading is a pain. Remember, the white zone is for
No loading and unloading only. Bing!
I have a 2-Rock custom reverb signature. Yes, you do. And a V140 wet. Yes, you do. Thinking of going to combos with extension cabs. Such
Interesting.
as an AC30. Thoughts? Oh, God. Going from a custom reverb SIG and a V140 to an AC30,
That's
great sound as it is going to be a colossal change in what you can expect.
And everything will change.
Everything.
The way the guitar feels, the way the effects work, everything. So, make sure that it might be that you've heard it and played it and gone, yeah, that's the way I want to go. Excellent. Need to be careful with the extension cabs. So they can be really good. They can make the guitar sound bigger because there's more speakers on stage, but they can also make it sound quieter because the amp is working harder to drive more speakers. So it's really, I found that I had an extension cab with my Lazy J, and if it was a smaller gig and I needed to be able to drive the amp harder, I put the extension cab on it, and
Because it's working harder.
because the amp is working harder, and it was great.
Yeah.
With a single, without the extension cab, the amp was actually louder.
Yeah, right. Obviously, if you're going from 2 amps wet dry to 1 amp and a cab, you won't get that. You'll lose your wet dry there. Now, you can potentially use the 2 channels or 2 of the AC30's channels as long as you get them in phase. But again, you can't split the speaker output of the wet and dry of the channels. Therefore, it's all going to be coming out the same speaker. So the wet dry thing will be lost a little bit. You could... What else could you do? You could just get some smaller amps. 2 Blues Juniors. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed how massive 2 Blues Juniors can sound.
Yep. We got in the vlog room. I was using the 5-watt Marshall and the Princeton together. That's a wet dry thing. Far out, man.
Yeah,
It
especially if you're
sounds
mic'd.
so good.
But if you're not mic'd and you're used to the sound of that 2-rock and the Victory, I mean, anything after that's is going to hurt. One thing I'm in the middle of doing, which I haven't got round to yet, is I've got a Mesa 5050 stereo power amp, which is a rack format. Now, in its current guise, it looks totally ridiculous.
Oh man, that is wonderful. Look at that thing.
Because what we have here, you see, is the stereo power amp in a case with another 2-unit rack, and then a Benson Tallbird reverb and a full tone tri-stereo analog chorus. If we forget about all of this stuff, what you could do is have a rack box with that in, get a really nice, these are available used for, I don't know, 500 to 700 quid, get a really nice 212 cab, which is wired stereo, and some preamps on the front. Now, it would take a bit of setting up, and it is a different way to go about it, but that would give you stereo and or wet dry in a more compact, not this cab, obviously, in a more compact format. But yeah,
Just reels it off. That's so good.
so yeah. So instead of using 2 channels on an amp, actually get a stereo power amp, and they're cheap to pick up because they're so unfashionable now. But they sound fantastic.
They really
as long as
do.
you hit it with a decent preamp up front, which you can get all on your pedal board if you go for something like the Kingsley stuff.
Yeah.
So you've got one board, sensibly sized, 1 power amp, and 1 cab, and that 1 212 and a little rack case. That's a bit more sensible than 2 huge amps.
Or get 2 2x12s, stick them on either side of the 2-rock, and have. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get gotta experience the whole. Yeah. Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
DS Randlet. Hello, DS. We have a superb chat from you, but no questions, so we'll see if I've missed something.
No.
So, DS, sorry if we've missed you. Thank you for your generosity. And the last one, I think, I will check, but Sean Gerolimatos. Sean or Geromelatos. Sean says, have the boys played with the Chase Bliss Thermae? Which is a delay.
No,
I haven't.
No, I haven't. I'm still exploring the Chase Bliss Mood, which is an epic thing, but no, the Thermae looks incredible.
Analog delay and pitch shifter.
Yeah, very cool.
Delay and harmonization. Wow. MN3005 delay chips. Well, reissues thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so it uses the delay times, changes the delay times to give your harmonies.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it
it's
takes
really
me a
clever.
while to understand this stuff with a sequencer, obviously. Yeah, man, that's just above my head. I don't have the imagination to be able to use something like that.
No, you do have the imagination, but you don't have the time or the inclination.
I'm still trying to play an Albert King lick, mate. Is the truth.
Thing is, though, it's like I listen to what you do with production, and I couldn't do that in a million years. It's so great, but you love doing that stuff.
I
and
do.
it's- Yeah.
Yeah, because
Whereas-
I like music that sounds good, which is not to say the music that I produce sounds good. It's to say that I love music that sounds good. Therefore, I'm interested in it. And because I can see the point.
Right.
The point is good sounding music.
Yeah.
Where you can hear everything that's to my taste, might not be to everyone else's
Sure.
taste. But when it comes to complicated guitar effects, I struggle to see an application.
Right.
Which is not to say there isn't an application, because thank goodness Chase Bliss exists.
Oh, man.
Thank goodness Joel Corti exists to offer people with more of imagination somewhere to go. Isn't it fantastic?
It's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd all be playing blooming Tube Scream as analog delays, wouldn't we? Which is great, but
It's very true.
it is a bit limited if you set your sights a little wider than that.
I've just forgotten how great this guitar sounds.
Is that standard?
Yeah. I believe so.
Yeah, it is. Wow. That is a bonkers guitar.
Yes, it really is. Every time I play, like, because I haven't played it for so long, and every time there's a gap between me playing it, I pull it and just go,
That's nice.
it really is.
Isn't it nice?
It's lovely.
Isn't it nice? Okay, that's us. Thanks for being here, everyone. As usual, we are very grateful for your company during these
Indeed.
hours.
Yeah. It's lovely.
So, Strat vlog tomorrow. And then Neville's coming in tomorrow.
Yes.
We're going to do his pedal board. A friend of mine, Neville Martin, who I worked with on guitar magazines for years. He's released an album last year. And he's doing a gig at the end of February in Bath. He's very kindly asked me to play a couple of songs with him, which I'm going to do and sing. And there's some other great things happening at that gig. So
Are you going to go?
I will do at least one Albert King bend, I promise. Anyway, we're doing his pedal board for him tomorrow. We may make most of it or some of it into a video, but the job is to get the pedal board done. So if we can make a video to go alongside it, we will. And that will come out soon. Strat vlog tomorrow. First of the Strat vlogs. Watch me getting tied into circles. Which
It's fascinating.
we'll remedy in the next one.
Yeah, it's
and
really good.
for all the things I got wrong about Fender custom colours, I heartily apologise. And then on Friday, I think we're looking at some alternative overdrives.
Yeah, cool.
That are interesting.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, I did the audio for it today. Sounds pretty spanking,
Yeah.
actually.
I
Sounds
walked in and you were doing it. It's like, yeah, I
present
remember that.
and alive, and yeah, very cool.
Well, do you, I suppose you remember the one that was on when I first walked in?
I think it was the Catlin bred one that sounds like a preamp channel strip.
Oh, okay. Right.
I think new from Catlin bred.
Yeah, excellent.
I think it was that. And I just take this moment to say, Dan, today I have hung up my motorcycling boots. The bike is going tomorrow.
Oh, buddy.
It's the end of my motorcycling life for the foreseeable future. It's time for a new adventure, Dan. And so goodbye, bike.
Oh, mate.
I'm actually not sad.
Really?
No, I'm not. It's time for a new life. It's sat there depreciating. I lost more money on that bike in the 2 years I've owned it.
Right.
I could have bought a Pelham Blue custom shop SG for the amount of money I've lost on that bike in 2 years. All for the sake of about 4,000 miles.
So you've done it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's always raining.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I rode in this
I
morning.
haven't noticed.
Rode it in this morning because it's going to get picked up. And I literally, the weather forecast said sunny, right? On the app it says sunny. I literally pull out of my garage and I got rain on my visor. It's like, you know, clearly I'm not a real biker, but...
What do you do when it rains on a bike? Do you have, like, you're driving along?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it's raining.
Riding.
You're riding along.
Not driving. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're fanging along.
Yeah.
And
It's raining.
what do you do with that business?
Most gloves have got a piece of chamois leather or something like that on there, and you just wipe it off. Mine have actually got a little windscreen wiper on.
But if it's raining, you got to sit there the whole time doing this.
No, you just wipe it off once, and if you're doing a sensible speed, it all blows off anyway. Yeah, it's not very nice in driving rain, but
Right.
only real motorcyclists ride in driving rain.
Wow.
Fair weather bikers like me only go out on a nice sunny day. Sorry, fair weather bikers like me.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not even going to spend the money on a guitar. I'm going to put it in the bank.
What's a bank?
That's how middle-aged I am. That's how middle-aged I've become. Tune in next week to see the guitar I buy with my motorbike money. Anyway, so thank you, Ducati. I am just not a high roller enough to own premium Italian motorcycles.
I must say, though,
That is a rich man's game.
you did look pretty cool on that thing. The 2 times I saw you on it, I thought, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
scare the absolute living bejesus out of me.
Yeah.
Being on a motorbike.
I've had nice bikes for 10 years, and it's been a good 10 years. Rosie is my new bike.
Okay.
The reason I got the bike in the first place, Catherine made me get it because I needed something that wasn't work,
Right.
and that I had to concentrate on.
Oh, interesting.
Because when you ride on a bike, if you stop concentrating, you
Die.
hit things.
Yeah.
So it was immersive, and it was a good way to begin the mental healing that has happened
Yes. Okay.
over the last 10 years. And
Wow.
that job is largely done. The dog has replaced that job mentally
Right.
for me. And new adventure time, Dan.
Amazing.
New
That's
adventures.
lovely.
New adventures.
Well,
Happy days.
My wife picks up her new car tomorrow.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, she's supposed to get it today.
Yeah.
So, one door opens, another one shuts.
911
So
RS?
good.
Lightning stiffened?
No, not quite. Not quite. Not quite. Brilliant. Thank you all for joining us. Yes, Strat Vlog tomorrow, and then Friday's video. We'll see you again on Monday.
Indeed. Play us out. Thanks for being here, folks.
Indeed.
See you soonly.